Hello everyone and welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. Today we're taking a look at URZA Chief Artificer. Man, I'm a fan of this card because honestly, we're just going to build a ton of constructs, go really wide and really tall, and then smash face. That's all we need to do. But the way we're going to do it is what makes this deck unique. We're going to be using treasure and clue tokens. I know that's a little weird, but think about it. We'll be able to generate value while making our constructs massive. And then if people try to, wipe the board, get rid of all artifacts, which is what this deck is really weak to, we can go ahead and use our value before we lose it. Additionally, I put a couple things in the deck to hopefully protect our board. With the introductions out of the way, let's get into the deck tech. We have Black Market Connections. Not only does this card go ahead and create us some treasure tokens, but it can also draw us some cards. Blood Money. We'll go ahead and wipe the whole board and be left with a bunch of treasure tokens. Grim Hireling. Not only can this guy create treasure tokens, but we can use him as removal in a pinch. Life's Insurance. I never see anybody play this card, but it's honestly not terrible. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. And then all of your creatures are going to have Extort, so you can gain that life back pretty easily. Monologue Tax. This one's really good. Everybody's going to try to be casting more than 2 spells per turn, so we're going to get a lot of treasure tokens off of this. Revel in Riches. This one's really good, but some people will kill it on sight just because this could really end the game for us. Smothering Tithe. It's insane. You guys knew it was going to be in here, and it's going to make those constructs massive. Smuggler's Share. This one, not only can it draw us cards, but again, it creates treasure tokens, so we're getting hitting both the categories right here. Spell Swindle. Not only can this card protect our board, but we're going to create a lot of treasure tokens from the board wipe they just tried to cast on us. Notably, we're always going to have access to a lot of mana because we're going to try to keep those treasure tokens on the field. Treasure Map. Not only is this good card selection, but it's going to go ahead and sacrifice itself later. We'll get 3 treasure tokens, and then we'll be able to sacrifice those treasures to draw cards, and it'll be a land, so it ramps us. This card is really good. Inquisitor Greyfax. This gal's fucked up in the deck. Not only is she going to make it to where we can tap down creatures, and again, our artifact constructs are going to have menace because of our commander. So they're going to be keeping 2 creatures open to block. We're going to go ahead and tap them down, and they're going to take a lot of damage. And then they're going to have vigilance and +1 on top of that. So she hits all of the categories, creates us clue tokens, taps down our opponent's creatures, and buffs up our constructs. Perfect. Tamio's Journal. This one's solid in the deck. Not only can we go ahead and tutor up some cards, but it's consistent card advantage, and it's just going to maintain our construct's power, which is really what we're trying to do with this whole deck. Tivit, Seller of Secrets. Oh man, this guy's exciting because we're going to get 5 artifacts on this guy every turn. Lastly, guys, get ready for this one. We have Academy Manufacturer. Now, every time we create a treasure or clue token, we're going to get 2 additional artifacts. Just think about the power of our constructs whenever every time we create a treasure token, we're going to go ahead and create a food and a clue token alongside it. This guy's insane because it's just going to buff up those constructs and make them massive. If you thought that was exciting stuff, get ready because we're going to go even wider with this next category. Anointed Processions. Not only is this going to double up on our commanders creating those constructs, but every time we create those treasure or clue tokens, this card can make the game get out of hand really fast. Canoptic Scarab Swarm, another one. Hey, someone's always playing graveyards, right? So we'll just hose that player and create a massive board while doing it. I'm game, right? Helm of the Host. Yes, guys, I've lost my mind. We throw this in the deck, it's going to get out of hand almost immediately, right? Because boom, you're creating 2 constructs. Then you're creating 3 constructs. Now you've got 5 constructs on the battlefield. Next turn, you're creating 4 constructs. Now you're up to 7. Holy, they can't let this live for very long before you just win the game. But that's nothing compared to our next card, Song of the World Soul. Every time you cast a spell, how about you just populate, right? Holy, we're just going to create a ton of constructs and they're going to be massive. And it's going to happen out of nowhere. Imhotep the Stormlord, this guy, we're going to be rifling artifacts in and out of our graveyard through the whole game, and he's going to be creating a massive board state while we do that. So this guy can just get out of hand by himself, and then when you add the constructs to it, it gets pretty crazy. Mere Battlesphere. Not only is this a threat in itself, but it's going to buff all those constructs and immediately give them +5. Transference. This is going to be really useful because turning all of our cards into artifacts will not only make it to where we can recur them really easily with the rest of the deck, but it's also going to make it to where we're creating more artifacts every time we cast a creature, so we're good with that. Finally, I'll leave you with this guy, Cyber Drive Awakener. This is honestly Blue Craterhoof Behemoth, right? We're going to create a lot of clues, a lot of treasure tokens, and then out of nowhere, surprise, they're all 4/4 with flying. Good luck! Our next category doesn't have very many cards, but it's a really important one because our constructs, they don't have trample and they have menace, right? It's not hard for a token deck to block, to keep 2 creatures open, and then tapping them down is not going to do anything because half the time they'll have 10 on the board. So this category is going to be all about making our damage get to our opponents. The first thing I came up with was obviously Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. This guy's going to give him lifelink, and then we can pay that 5 mana to make sure that damage gets to the opponent's face. Notably with this guy, say someone's had no blockers, we can just attack that guy and kill the other guy, right? He's pretty insane. Next up, we have Nemesis Mask. Oh my gosh, this card's perfect in the deck. Suit it up to one of your constructs and all the rest are going to get through. Notably, it's going to wipe their board while we're doing it because, again, these constructs are going to be massive. Lastly, we have Akroma's Memorial. I know it's 7 mana, but let's be honest, we're going to be creating a lot of treasure tokens, and there is other ramp in the deck, so it was pretty easy to justify that way. Additionally, it's going to give them Trample, Haste, Vigilance, and Protection from black and from red, which they're decent protections, especially the red one, right? So Blasphemous Act, it's not going to work. If you guys came up with any other creative ways to make sure our constructs connect, let me know in the comments. Alright, let's cover the miscellaneous stuff that doesn't fit into a category. We have Rootborn Defense. Not only does this have Populate on it, but it's going to give all of our creatures indestructible until end of turn. We need to protect our board state because it's really easy to just kill all artifacts on the battlefield, and then we have to start over from square one. So protecting our board's kind of our #1 priority. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. This guy's really good because just have him enter the battlefield, copy your commander, and you're off to the races. Additionally, Spark Double does the same thing, so I threw it in the deck. Diabolic Intent will sacrifice a useless creature and go ahead and tutor up any card in our library. Fabricate. This one's also really good because most of the deck's artifacts, so we can go ahead and tutor up any artifact. I bet you thought we were done going wide, but nope, we also have Strionic Resonator, which is going to copy up on our commander's ability. Plus, it's an artifact, so it just sitting on the board is going to buff our constructs, which is really good. And Lithoform Engine, which is going to do the same thing, and it can copy one of our instant and sorcery spells or copy target permanent spell. Pretty useful. Alright guys, let's get into that card advantage. We have Marneus Calgar. This guy's going to be insane in the deck. As soon as we create a treasure token, clue token, or a construct, we're going to go ahead and draw the card. Additionally, this guy can create white Astartes warrior creature tokens out of nowhere. So if they try to wipe our artifacts, we can go ahead and pump all of our mana into Marneus and still have a board state. Esper Sentinel, just really efficient. It sits on the board, it buffs our constructs, and it draws us cards. Windfall, we do have a recursion package in here, which I will go over, so wheels are going to be pretty useful. Dark Deal, again, like I said, we do have a recursion package, so go ahead and include this, fill our graveyard a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Kindred Discovery. Whenever we create a construct, we're going to go ahead and draw a card, and whenever a construct attacks, we'll go ahead and draw a card. Lashiel Clockwork Scholar. Not only does this prevent the damage that our constructs take during combat, but it'll also draw us a card. Solemn Simulacrum. This guy's really good. Enters the battlefield, dies, draws us a card, and we'll bring him back. Shimmer Dragon. Not only is this guy guaranteed hexproof, but you're going to use all of those treasure tokens, all of those clue tokens to draw a ton of cards. Shirakai Genesis Engine. Speaking of value, this guy is value. You're going to draw a lot of cards, and additionally, he's just an 8/8 beater that you can throw at someone's face. Let's go over that recursion package real quick. We have Scrap Trawler, Mirror Retriever, Workshop Assistant, and Junk Diver. I've been including these in my artifacts lately, and it makes it to where you basically have access to your graveyard at all times. I've been really happy with them. Taunos Solemn Survivor. This guy's insane because not only can he double up on those construct tokens, but He's gonna mill us a little bit, and I know it's kind of magical Christmas land, but could you imagine getting Sakashima on the field and creating a token copy of Marnius Calgar, and then just populating that a ton and just drawing a shit ton of cards? I know like there's ways to win the game, but I want the card advantage, you know what I'm saying? Imri, Lurker of the Lock. This one again, it mills you a little bit, and we're gonna be able to get those artifacts from our graveyard. Finally, we have Lichguard. Most of the important pieces in our deck are legendary creatures or enchantments. So I really wanted to put this guy in the battlefield just to get any legendaries we need back to our hand. Lastly, we have Hall of Helioid's Generosity. Like I said, we need those enchantment cards to create those treasure tokens. Moving on to removal, we have URZA Lord High Artificer. This guy's going to be really useful because we'll be able to tap our treasure tokens for mana, and then we can just use that 5 ability over and over and over again. Additionally, he'll just create a construct whenever he enters the battlefield, so pretty good. Croc Clan Ironworks makes an appearance because Croc Clan Ironworks is insane. Then we have the Signets and Soul Ring. Boring, but efficient. Alright, next up we have removal, and I know what you're thinking, this deck seems pretty weak to board wipes, and you're right, so we're running quite a bit of counterspells. We have Negate, Swan Song, Disallow, Davin's Veto, and finally Dwari Disruption. I know someone almost always has that one to pay, but let's be honest, if you don't need it, you can just use it as a land, so it's like, why not include it in your deck? Speaking of why not include it in your deck, we have Undo Inversion. Again, it's an insane amount of mana, but you don't have to do that. You can just play it as a land and you're good to go. Armix Filigree Thrasher. This guy's gonna be able to get rid of anything we need, right? Because we're gonna have a lot of artifacts on the board. Phyrexian Scriptures, a one-sided board wipe that the opponent just gets to stare at until it's gone. Speaking of one-sided board wipe, we have Organic Extinction, and Their Name is Death. I know the 3 black makes it pretty insane in a 3-color deck, but remember, we're running treasure tokens, so that's probably not going to matter. Alright guys, that's the deck tech. I really enjoyed making this one. This is the most efficient route I could think of that goes big, wide, and has a ton of value. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please drop a comment because that helps me out. Like, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.